Hello and welcome to another edition of the Vulcan Sportswire. I'm your host, Gary Smith, and I'm joined, as always, from an undisclosed location in the center of campus, Sports Information Director Extraordinaire, Matt Kiefer. Matt, what a busy last week. I bet you are doing statting baseball and softball in your sleep. Every time you blink, you see the lines going to first to third, pitching changes, pitch counts. That was a heck of a week last week.
I've seen enough baseball-softball combination. I have not watched any Major League Baseball in a week, which is saying something given my fandom for Toronto. And my fantasy team is definitely suffering the fate of my lack of paying attention to MLB right now.
Well, I tell you what, it was funny whenever we talked on Sunday, the day after the last thing at home for last week. I'm like, this is weird. You're not like yelling down for me from a press box, or I'm yelling to you from a very tiny window and a different press box. So it was a little bit of normalcy, but it felt weird that we weren't at a diamond somewhere.
Yeah, it definitely is. Once you get in the habit of going, when you stop, it's very unusual. But at the same point, we're only stopping our home events. We're not stopping awards from happening, road games, playoffs, and everything else going on because we're at that point in the season now.
And we're at the point of the show where we're going to look back at the previous weekend. We're going to start with Friday. Both the baseball and softball teams had a date with Seton Hill this week, and we're going to start with baseball on Friday afternoon. Game that was originally slated to start at 1, and then the day before was pushed back to 2, and then Mother Nature pushed it back another hour and 45 minutes. But I tell you what, the wait was worth it as California, and what felt like a playoff preview, and probably could be a playoff preview, definitely a playoff atmosphere, delivered at home against a very tough Seton Hill ball club.
Yeah, the Griffins came in number 7 in the country and only had 2 losses. And it was easy to see why. But again, the Vulcans claimed the rare home doubleheader sweep over the Griffins. It's the first time it's actually happened since Seton Hill joined the conference a couple of years ago. But game 1, you knew you were get the best from Nick Riggle you could. And again, he beat the best pitcher in the league from UPJ a couple weeks ago. He beat Mercier earlier this year. So the idea is like him taking out Seton Hill wasn't really a big deal. I don't think he was ready for the task. And Cal got a couple of runs in the 4th and 5th and held on to a nice 4-1 victory there. Complete game by Nick Riggle, which obviously is the story of the whole weekend, really, with him tying the all-time wins record at Cal with 23. An impressive accomplishment. Great to see a fifth-year senior come back after the way last spring was shorted, but we had to come back. And last year, we had to challenge the record possibly, but with the extra starts from last year and this year, definitely helped them get that milestone. And then game 2, inning number 3, actually, they got 4 runs for the Vulcans and added 4 more late in the game, so they got a 9-3 victory over there. But we were both there, and we saw the ball flying out of there. Jacob McCaskey giving a couple homers and some other guys chipping in as well with some long balls at Wild Things Park.
And I tell you what, even though the wind was blowing out, there was not one cheap home run hit. I mean, every one of those balls would have been out any weather condition, any time of the year. And just to double back to Nick Riggle's accomplishment, I tell you what, sitting there calling the game, you kind of got a feel once we got to about the 4th or 5th inning and California eked out to that win. You could just feel like that intensity ratcheting up. That, I mean, I don't know if he knew what was on the line or just the fact that it would have been a key victory, but every pitch felt like it was building to something monumental. And in fact, it did, and he tied the school record for victories.
Yeah, it's one of those things. He knows, the coaching staff and everybody here knows how prolific that offense is for Seton Hill. So 1 run, okay, 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs, even a grand slam wasn't safe just because that heart of the order right there is just filled with guys who could all challenge for Player of the Year and all region awards, no doubt about it. And the team is just loaded with offensive firepower.
Let's take a second to check out the highlights from this past Friday's home doubleheader sweep by the Vulcans over Seton Hill. Swinging, hits it right back up the middle. Taken by the shortstop. Step on second. Throw to first. Double play. Let's take a look at the shortstop over there for the Vulcans, Jacob McCaskey. 0-1 pitch. Swing. There's a throw down to second. The steal. And he is gone. There's a line drive right at McCaskey to second. Over to first. High, but he gets it. Pitch right up the middle, taken by McCaskey. Steps on second. That was the first double play. Jake McCaskey.
McCaskey swings, gets a hold of one, sends it to deep center field, back to the wall, leaps, and it's gone. Jacob McCaskey with the home run puts the Vulcans ahead 1-0, and Jacob McCaskey gets this offense rolling for the Vulcans.
There's the pitch, swung on out to left field. Pellis going back and jumps, does not get it. It's going to be down. It's going to be extra bases for Provisky, and that'll be a double. As now he's going to try and stretch it to a triple, and he will get in with 3 bases. 2-1. Now he hits one deep to left field. That's high in the air. Back goes Pellis to the wall. It is gone. Loud and Conti touch him on. The Vulcans get a much-needed insurance run. And just like that, it is 3-0 Vulcans. Loudon Conti with a towering no-doubter over the left field fence here. There's a shot by Lee out to left field. Back goes Pellis. Back-to-back Jack David Lee makes it 4-0. Off the bench and around the bases for David Lee. Delivers. Breaking ball, called strike 3. And Nick Riggle will join. Randy Sturgill is the all-time winningest pitcher here at California.
Swung and missed, strike 3, got him. Inside, got him looking. Pitch, swung and a miss, strike 3, and delivers. That one gets chopped right over the second, and double play. So 2 on and 2 out. McCaskey, towering shot in the left field, and that one's gonna get out of here. A 3-run home run for Jacob McCaskey. Hammered down for the Vulcans as they've retaken the lead. 1 pitch, 1 swing of the bat, and it's a brand new ball game for the Vulcans. And Brogan hits that one deep to left center field. Back to the wall. Gone! And back-to-back home runs for the Vulcans. You cannot make this up. Pitch, and he hits that one hard to left field. Into the jet stream. Gone! And another home run for the Vulcans. Verbitsky, he tagged that one into the jet stream, and the hammer down for the Vulcans as they lead it 5-2. Sets and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3, got him. They set and deliver that one and chop down the line in right field. Fair ball as it's going to get into the corner, and that's going to bring 2 more home. Serafino around first to second with a stand-up 2 RBI double. Wessler throws that one into right field, and that's going to bring another run home. Venetia around on second, going to third with a head-first slide, and that one goes into left field into the Cal-U bullpen. Here comes Venetia home for the plate, and he's in there standing up. 9-2, Cal-U leads it.
And Matt, after the Friday sweep, California took the short bus ride over to Greensburg to take on the Griffins on their home field. A little different outcome, but still a weekend that felt like it was very much a playoff postseason atmosphere.
Yeah, game 3 of the series, which was game 1 on Saturday, sort of got away from the Vulcans there. I mean, Seton Hall scored 8 runs in the first 3 innings. But again, the Vulcans bullpen did a nice job keeping it right there. It was an 8-2 loss. But again, in the final game, McCaskey again hit 2 home runs on Friday, comes back and starts in game 4 of the series. He actually got 4 hits in the game. He also had 7 strikeouts. So you talk about doing your part as best you can. Vulcans got to a 3-0 lead in the first. But again, Seton Hall has so much firepower. They forced to take the lead in the 6th. Vulcans came back and tied in the 7th. Goes extra innings, and then a walk-off home run from Derek Orndorff, a transfer from Penn State, from Seton Hill. He's one of the top players in the conference, no doubt about it. Got the victory for the Griffins and took the split, which, again, anytime you go with Seton Hill, you're happy to get a split, and also putting your name a little bit out there with the idea of Griffins only losing 4 times all year, and 2 of them are to you. That's saying something about the kind of team the Vulcans have this season.
As of right now, California, Mercyhurst, UPJ, and Slippery Rock are all battling for that third and fourth spot, and even Clarion is not out of it totally yet. So every win is going to be very crucial for any baseball team coming down the stretch. But again, whenever you're playing teams ahead of you, at least get that split and not be a 1-3 weekend or 0-4. It's just huge at this time of the year.
Yeah, Slippery Rock's got a gauntlet of 10 games in a week. We talked about the softball team having 8 doubleheaders, 8 straight days. It was what was scheduled, but Slippery Rock on the docket's got 10 games this week. It's going to be very rough for them to get them all in because of weather and also just the durability and health of the athletes. And then with EPJ, with Hyde, we both saw Hyde pitch, and the guy is a phenomenal pitcher for the Mountain Cats. So any game he pitches, game one of a series, you definitely like their odds. And if they find a way to get another 1 or 2 victories in series, that means the Mountain Cats are definitely a team to be looking out for this last weekend of the season.
And keep up with everything that happens this last week of the season with CalVulcans.com, and also PSACsports.org will have the updated standings, because it's going to be a wild ride in the final week of the season. Now, turning over to a sport that did have their final week of the regular season, softball last week, took the challenge of playing almost half their season in 1 week. And due to some weather issues last week, they had Thursday off, but then they played Seton Hill in a home and away split series as always. And that series started on Friday. They had a little bit of rain issues. They actually started on time, but in the middle of the game they had a rain issue. But a good effort by the Vulcans on the road, earning a split at Seton Hill.
Yeah, game one, they got the delay going on, and then the Griffins got 4 runs in the second. And at that point, they just sort of rode it from there, got a 5-1 victory in game one of the doubleheader. But the Vulcans rallied back. They basically scored 6 runs in the middle innings and got a 6-3 victory in game two. Freshman Caitlin Larry did a great job out of the bullpen coming in, only allowing 1 earned run in 9 innings of relief. And again, for the Vulcans to scratch off 6 runs in game two is impressive for the fact that they only had 6 total hits in the entire day. So he's scoring 6 runs on 3 hits, definitely capitalizing. The Griffins made 5 errors and also going to get some walks sprinkled in there. But way to capitalize with timely hitting and smart base running and execution on some hit and runs and those types of things to find a way to get 6 runs on only 3 hits.
And then, of course, after that Friday doubleheader, both teams resumed pleasantries at Lilly Field on Saturday afternoon. Senior day for the Vulcans and a beautiful afternoon. And also kind of seemed like anybody who could pitch for the Vulcans was going to pitch on Saturday after a long week. Team was running out of arms. So I got to see performance in the doubleheader. Game one didn't go the Vulcans' way, but game two, a very dramatic final inning and a half for the Vulcans.
Yeah, game one, Vulcans got run ruled at home. Gave up a grand slam in the 7th inning, but again, that grand slam's got to sort of be denoted there. Brooke Wilson, the 3-year starter and catcher for the Vulcans, was actually in the circle on that play, and it was after back-to-back bunts to load the bases, and then just a grand slam for the Griffins there to sort of put that game way out of reach. But a 10-1 victory for Seton Hill. But Vulcans, again, as you said, rallied back in game two and took a 12-4 victory. Actually forced a run rule victory of their own by scoring 6 runs in the 6th. And Brooke Wilson, again, comes back in relief in that game after she starts the game. The catcher moves off to the bench, warms up as the offensive player. The OP, as it's called. There's really no stat term for it, but the OP is what it's called when you hear umpires talk about it. Moving down DPs to third base, moving third base to catcher, just to have her be able to warm up. But she came in and recorded the save actually in the contest and helping out Kayla Barron there. But the Vulcans, again, they got 15 hits that game. They were definitely hitting on all cylinders there. A lot of multi-hit performances for the Vulcans on the final day at Lilly Field. It's been a while. Again, Coach Bernal referenced it on the pregame ceremonies, but it's been quite a while since the Vulcans have recognized their seniors at Lilly Field. So I'm sure it's great to have for these seniors to be able to be on that field and for the whole program to be back on campus playing the duration of their home schedule where it's supposed to be on campus.
And let's check out the highlights from the home doubleheader split with the Seton Hill Griffins.
The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Ellie Lobdell gets the second out. So here's the first pitch from Lobdell. Slap towards short. Taken on a hop. Thrown over to first. And 1, 2, 3. Go the Griffins on another great defensive play. 0-1 pitch for Lobdell. Swung on. Popped to the shortstop. And over her head. And that will bring in the first run for the Griffins. So here's the 2-2 pitch from Lobdell. Swing and a miss. And Ellie Lobdell retires her for the first out in the bottom of the thirds. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Slapped into left field. That's going to get down. That's going to get 1 run home.
And now rounding the third base and 2 runs home. So here's the 2-2 pitch once again. Swung on right back through the middle. That gets down. Runner rounds third. Throw to the plate is going to be cut off at second, and that's the 4th run. Here's the first pitch. Slapped into left field, and that's a base hit. So right on cue, Brittany Wilson gets a base hit. Hartman looking in for the sign. Here it is. Delivers. Swung on. Slapped down off the shortstop. That's going to get into left field, and that will load the bases up. Very fair for the Vulcans to play some defense here. There's a shot towards short. Picked up. Throw to second. Retires the runner at second. And then there's another chance for Jaquay. Diving. Knocks it down. And right into the hands of the shortstop Pastor for the out. Here's the pitch, swung on, shot to left field, and that'll be a base hit. Cut off by McClendon. First pitch, Young, single to left field. It gets by, and that'll bring home the first run for the Vulcans. Extra bases for Young. This runner's on first and second. Pitch swung on, and it gets a lot of that. Zhang will touch him off. So here's the pitch back up the middle. Attempt by the second baseman gets into center field, and that's going to bring a run home. Henderson will look to score on an advance, and just like that, the run will come in. Henderson will score on the wild pitch. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. So Myers' pitch inside, slapped to the shortstop, throw to third, but there's no force, and the run will come through, as that's a mental error there by the shortstop. Here it is, swung on, hit deep down the left field line, back to the wall. It's going to get off the wall, but that's going to be extra bases for the Vulcans. Coming around will be a run, and the Vulcans now lead 4-2 on an RBI double by Brittany Wilson. Next pitch, swung on, slapped through the middle. That'll be a base hit, and a run will come home for the Vulcans. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed, so coming back for the second out. There's the 0-1 pitch, swung on, slap right back through the middle. That'll be a base hit. Bertinoli waving the runner home, throw to the plate, cut off, and California gets a much needed insurance run. Awaits Kondrat's offering. Here it is. Swung on, hit down the third base line. That's a fair ball, and that's going to be extra bases for the Vulcans. 1 run comes home, another run comes home. That's going to be a 2-run double for Paige Wilson. Jaquay now slaps one hard into left field, over the head of the left fielder. 1 run's going to come through. Coming into third and rounding third, throw to the plate will be off target, and California gets another 2 runs and a triple for Selena Jaquay. 1-1 pitch, swung on, and there's a shot deep to right field, back to the wall, over the head. That'll bring home another run, and that'll be a 2-bagger for Jordan Pineri. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on back through the center, hits on the ground, gets around to the wall. Coming around to score will be Pastor, and the game is over.
And Matt, after the this weekend doubleheader 4-game series with Seton Hill, the games on Sunday against UPJ were wiped off the schedule. So that ended the regular season for the Vulcans, and that ended the regular season for the PSAC West. We're going to take a look at the final standings. You see Seton Hill finished first, Gannon second, Cal U third, Mercer is fourth. And now let's take a look at the PSAC softball tournament that is this week. I know the weather looks to be crazy, but Matt, Seton Hill will host Mercyhurst in a 3-game series, and then California driving up to Gannon for a 3-game set. Against a team that, they played, it seemed like it was about a year ago, first weekend of the series. What can we look forward in that first round matchup between Cal U and Gannon?
I mean, this is definitely a totally different setup for multiple reasons. In the past, it's always been a double elimination tournament. In years past in Quakertown, before you had 3 divisions, 3 from each team going, 9 teams, whole bunch of round-robin kind of stuff and things like that. But now with 2 divisions, COVID trying to limit travel, make everything go. So it's all best-of-3 series. Gannon, they were the top team in the PSAC back when the seasons were played in the duration, like in 2019, 2020. They were right there before 2020 came on. But the Lady Knights have a great pitching staff. They have a 1-2 punch there. They live and die by the long ball. They have 3 girls that have combined for over 30 homers and almost 90 RBI. So you're going to really have to work around those 3 and make sure if you do face them, try to limit the chances of people on base. You can give up ones. You don't like giving up those crooked numbers on a scoreboard. So a solo home run's fine. They may beat you at the end of the day, but at least it keeps you in the contest if you give up solo home runs. And for the Vulcans, they used a whole new lineup in the final game of the regular season. So it'll be interesting to see if they go with that concept again and what kind of pitching they'll be looking at, having at least almost a whole week to rest up some pitchers and see if they do some sort of combination. Tentatively, it's supposed to be both games played Wednesday with the if game on Thursday. Weather-wise, may force it to a 1 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. So, again, as we said, the entire time on the Sportswire, they're schedule for spring sports, and it continues on into the conference playoffs.
We're not going to know what to do in the fall, Matt, when pretty much every sport will play regardless of weather, and volleyball's indoors, so we won't have to worry about weather as much. But also, all the games of the PSAC Softball Championship will be streamed on the PSAC Network app, so you can go to calvulcans.com. Matt will have the link to the Cal U games, or you can go to the PSAC site, and I'm sure there'll be links if you want to check out Kutztown, New Stroudsburg, Shepherd, Westchester, or Seton Hill, Mercier's. But again, go to calvulcans.com for all the pertinent information regarding Vulcan's postseason softball. And Matt, one other team was in action this past weekend, and this team, the track and field team, went to a place they'd never been before.
Yeah, UPJ, again, they're not that long of members of the PSAC. And, again, they haven't really had track really on their campus. And, again, they still don't have track on their campus because we've both been to their campus. Not a whole lot of space for a track. So they hosted an invitational, but it was actually a high school in a neighboring town, Windber, Pennsylvania. It's where they actually held the event at. And the Vulcans, again, it's their last tune-up before the PSAC championships, which are this weekend in Shippensburg. So anybody who tried to get in there, get that entry, get that seating up a little bit, this is their last chance meet basically to do that. And on the Vulcans actually won the high jump in both the men's and women's side. And on the women's side, Beyonce Kelly posted an incredible number in clearing the height she did and improving her NCAA mark. And now she's now top 10 in the country, which really should help solidify her getting a chance to possibly go to nationals with Devon Franklin in the 100 meters, which she reached a couple weeks ago. But Kelly, you'll hear me talk about her quite extensively throughout this show for various reasons. But again, she cleared 1.73 meters. But for you and I, we don't really meters. Think of it this way. She cleared 5'8" in a high jump. You and I both are not vertically gifted. We were around that 5'8", 5'9" mark. She basically jumped over our heads if our head was the bar, and she is shorter than we are. So that's just to put you in perspective of how big of a jump and how high of a jump she did and performed on Saturday. So a great job by her. And for the Vulcans winning a number of different events on both the men's and women's side at UP.
And that's going to segue right into some accolades this week. Your office gives out the Vulcans of the Week, and also the PSAC office gives out Athletes of the Week. And, Matt, I'll let you announce who got what for this week in the Accolades section of Sportswire.
Yeah, this week again, the PSAC, they kept me busy for sure. 3 different Vulcans received PSAC Athlete of the Week honors. Starting off, we'll go with baseball. Nick Riggle, again, that we referenced earlier, he tied the all-time wins record through a complete game victory against the highest scoring offense in the PSAC in Seton Hill and one of the best in the country, giving up only 1 run. The Griffins were actually scoreless through 6 innings. Got that one lone run in the 7th, but he had a shutout going through 6. So we thought Nick, for his performance in that game and also reaching that terrific milestone, he has a chance to break it this week. But again, at least he's tied that mark right now. He got the PSAC pitcher of the week from the conference. And then for the softball team, Brittany Wilson, a freshman third baseman who also split time at third base when her sister Brooke was warming up in the bullpen. It had that unique, accomplishment of being able to catch your sister when you're both catchers at the college level. She had 14 hits in a span of a week. She actually had a 483 clip, had 8 RBI, was big calluses on base quite a bit for the Vulcans, had an OPS plus of over 1,000. So again, at that point, you know you're putting the ball in play, you're getting on base a lot, and you're doing some extra base damage with that. So that was on the diamond. And then again, how I referenced Beyonce Kelly, she was the first CalU first CalU field athlete to earn Field Athlete of the Week from the conference office. That'll be coming out here in technically 9 minutes. watching the live on YouTube, you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek there. But again, in 9 minutes, Beyonce Kelly will be the first Vulcan to get PSAC Field Athlete of the Week since 2016, men or women. Basically, when you jump over yours and my head on a high jump, I'm probably going to give you a nod on that because that's a pretty big accomplishment. So no wonder why the PSAC gave her that award. She's actually 9th in the country at that height, and she's number 2 in the conference. So we'll see how she does this week at the conference championships. And then looking again from the Vulcans of the week, 2 names I literally just referenced, Nick Riggle on the men's side. We gave it again, tying that accomplishment that Randy Sturgill set in 2011. Great to see Nick be able to reach that mark after everything that happened last year with the COVID-shortened season. And then Beyonce Kelly, again, hitting that mark. She cleared 1.7 meters last week, and that was the first time anybody hit that height in over a decade. So she's been working on this mark. I think she's put herself in a position nicely to hopefully be selected to the NCAAs and maybe challenge the PSAC championships here this weekend in that event. So those are our 2 Vulcans of the week after the PSAC allotted us with 3 athletes of the week from the conference office.
And congratulations to everyone. Those are it's great to see all the accolades. And I tell you what, Matt, the more and more I think about it, I think we might need a publicity stunt where she high jumps over us, kind of like the old shots you would see Phil Mickelson hitting flop shots over people standing right in front of him. So maybe we have to work that in this summer. Just to keep things spicy around the office whenever it's 80 degrees and 80% humidity. So, but that ends that segment. Now we get to look at the weather / schedule / stay tuned segment of this show, because weather will be a factor this week as we shoot this. It has been drizzling for about 20 minutes today on Tuesday, and then pretty much all day yesterday. But we already referenced softball. We're playing in the PSAC tournament right now, scheduled for 2 games at Gannon on Wednesday, and then the 1 game on, if necessary, on Thursday. But as you referenced, it might flip-flop. But also, men's golf will be starting on Thursday in an event.
Yeah, Tyler Kipp was selected, as we referenced last week, I believe, as an individual qualifier for the NCAA Atlantic Regional Championships. That's going to actually be hosted by Mercyhurst, which is playing at Northeast Pennsylvania. I think it's the Longview Country Club is the course. He played it earlier this season. So it's a chance for him to see how he basically stands up to the best of the competition. He's faced a number of the PSAC schools, including IUP, which won the conference championship, and the standout from Shepherd, Owen Elliott. So he knows those guys, but again, he's going to see a lot different field up in the Northeast. There have been some tremendous golfers. I know a couple years ago at Southern New Hampshire, when they won the championship hosted by Cal U, they had an individual, Mark Paradise, who was putting up scores that were unbelievable compared to basically the rest of the field. So it's a chance to really see some of the best talent in this region. Again, it's totally different than the talent you maybe would see in the Florida South region or the West Coast region. But again, you're seeing the best of where you're going to college at, and basically 30 schools going to be there between individual qualifiers and team qualifiers. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. He's played the course before. He's going to go up there for a practice round. Hopefully today he gets it in. But it's going to be a lot of golf. Be 18 holes, 3 straight days. So hopefully you work your game out a little bit come Saturday in contention to at least see where you are in the leaderboard and maybe make a position up. It's hard to say for anything for freshmen, his first chance at it, but again, we wish him all the best, and we'll be following with live results for golf at the regional level. So we're anxious to see how he does on the course this weekend.
And good luck to him, because that's a great accolade, and hopefully that's something that will continue as a freshman, maybe for the next three years or so here at Cal U. But another championship being hosted this weekend will be at Shippensburg. The men's and women's track and field team will get their conference championships in this weekend.
Yeah, again, the league had its indoor championships last year, sort of how the calendar sort of fell before COVID broke worldwide, and everybody understood what it was and the ramifications of it. But we had an indoor season last year, so the indoor championships, Devon Franklin broke out really, I think, at the conference level, and did some amazing things at the indoor meet. So this is her chance to go back on the outdoor and sort of see how she transitions there, because, again, instead of the 60-meter, you have the 100-meter dash in the outdoor season. I already referenced Beyonce Kelly, but also with Devon, you're going to have Alicia Collier, who, again, has been all PSAC in the sprints before, and the two of them will be major contributors in the standings for the Vulcans this weekend in the sprints and relays. And on the men's side, Tamir Jackson is one of the top times in the sprints as well. Jalen Cloud, expect him to do some nice things in the jumps. So the chances for the Vulcans to, again, very modified version for the championships. Basically seems to be the name of the game for championships this year. Instead of really hitting qualifying marks, they're only taking the top 16 individuals per event. So it's going to be a little bit smaller field than usual. But again, it's going to be highly competitive. I'm expecting Shippensburg, as always, to be at the top in both of those standings. With Slippery Rock definitely challenging on the women's side. And the Vulcans, I think, would be one of those things, too, in that 3, 4, 5 range. If you get some good numbers and good slots there, I think there'll be a team at the top there to really challenge that next level of teams in the PSAC.
And good luck to the men's, women's track and field team getting their PSAC Outdoor Championships in after missing last year due to COVID. So it'll be exciting. Hopefully they can drive back west on the turnpike with smiles on their faces. And finally, for the weekend, baseball concludes their regular season in a 4-game series home and away against the Gannon Golden Knights.
Yeah, the Golden Knights and Vulcans play on Friday in Erie. A lot of business in Erie County from Cal U this week between golf, baseball, and softball. There's no question we're helping out the Erie County Tourism Department. But Friday should be a great game. I'm expecting game 1 to be Nick Riggle versus Devin Judy, a local product from here down the road in Belle Vernon. 2 tremendous seniors, been 4-year starters, both guys all over the record books at both schools. Just like we had a great pitching matchup last week, I expect game 1 to be very much the same this week, with 2 seniors trying to win their possible last regular season, for sure the last regular season start, and possibly the last collegiate start. So we wish Nick the best in that one to try to challenge and break that record. And then game 2, we'll see what probably Dylan Broski can do there for the Vulcans. And then senior day for the Vulcans, looking at probably recognizing 5 guys on Saturday at Wild Things Park, in addition to the announcement of the Bruce Del Canton Pitching Award. Again, both of those, that'll be back again this year after last season. We postponed it because, again, only having dozen games in the belt didn't really felt like it was the need to present that type of award when the season really never got underway. But hopefully the Vulcans can finish the season on a strong note, find a way to get into the PSAC tournament, and then hopefully have something to talk about next week on the Sports Wire with them, maybe going to the postseason, sort of like we did this week with softball. As
we touched on earlier in the show, every game is so important, especially when the 3, 4, 5, and 6 teams in the PSAC are separated by a slim margin. Unfortunately, CUTV will not be there this weekend. Graduation is an all-hands-on-deck kind of situation. So if you want to see the games or know what's going on, either go to Live Stats, because I know you'll be running those, and those will be spot on, or go out to Wild Things Park. Beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful day. I think the weather's supposed to clear up somewhere around Friday or Saturday and then start raining again. But go out there and take in a ball game. And then, like you said, hopefully next week we'll be talking about some postseason for them. But finally, Matt, we're at the end of the show. And as we shoot this, it's May the 4th, Star Wars Day, all throughout the galaxy. And I always ask you a crazy question. And today, I think I'm going to ask you, if you were given the keys to the Millennium Falcon, who would your co-pilot be?
Co-pilot, you got to go with Chewie. He's been the co-pilot through all of them. I mean, he knows everything about the galaxy. You got to go with Chewie. Chewbacca, no doubt.
See, I was thinking Chewbacca, but then I'm like, I think I want to go with Lando. I think me and Lando in the universe, that could be a whole spin-off series.
Will never get off the ground. I think you guys would be just too busy playing cards and doing everything else around town. I'll be doing too much flying if I take it to Lando.
As soon as I would meet Lando, I would get fitted for a couple robes and stuff. I think that's the way it would go. But
now, would you be Lando Billy D. Williams or Donald Glover? Which Lando would you want to be rocking with there?
As much as I respect Donald Glover's portrayal, I think you got to go with the classic Billy D. Williams. I mean, that's the one that got everybody out of a jam at Cloud City, and then helped everybody in Return of the Jedi. So I think you got to go with the original. But in a pinch, I would go. Let's go with both. Gary Smith, Donald Glover, and Billy D. Williams flying through space is a recipe to print money in a movie. So Disney can call me. We'll talk over some terms. We'll get you in there in it as well. So, but that nonsense pretty much wraps it up for this week. Once again, for all the information for Vulcan Athletics, go to KyleVulcans.com on the web, and then also follow along Matt and their social medias at Twitter, Kyle Vulcans, and at Instagram, Kyle Vulcans. So for Matt Kiefer, I'm Gary Smith. We'll see you next week on the Sports Wire, and go Vulcans.